Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Really excited to go through what we're about to do in this video. Getting our second payout now, which is really cool. This time with Tradeify. As you can see, got a select account here, so the select flex. This is one that you can get payouts every 5 days. So complete the 5 days. Actually took 7 to get to this point, and I'll just quickly go through the trades through this. I guess a lot of you probably have seen, and like obviously you're traders, so there was an issue with Tradeify on the 28th. In fact, there's been issues with it most of these days. I feel like now that we had the Project X stuff kind of go on, and then a lot of these firms came away from Project X and have now come to Tradeify. It's like Tradeify is now having problems, which is pretty funny to see, but hey. So I did end up taking a trade on that day. It was a loss, and they reversed the trade, which is really nice. They still have their commission there, which I don't really care too much about, but it is what it is. Ended up having my first day, and I don't know what it is, but it's like every single time that I have a new account, I always tend to like lose the first trade. I guess it's probably just like the nerves of like trading a fresh account, but it seems like it's every single time. But it happened again on this account. With this as well, you need to get at least 5 winning days of 150 profit. So quite similar to alpha futures, which we've taken a payout on of the $200 days, a little bit less with the 150. So started stacking those up, like 250 days, 160 on these two. But today I just saw like multiple opportunities to like get in and out of the market. I had to take a couple of losing trades today, but also with this I realized like this day was going to then allow me to take a payout. And the thing with the Tradeify select accounts anyway is once you take a payout, the buffer, or like the maximum loss, goes all the way to 50,100. So it doesn't matter where you are in terms of the account, it will go all the way to 50,100. So today I just kind of thought, like, I'm seeing these multiple opportunities, let me continue to take them. And fortunately we just kept like winning a lot of these trades. And also with this there's no consistency. So I was at a point where I could have taken a payout. I was at like 50,600. I could have taken then 50% of that is what you can take. So I could take 300, which will leave me at 50,300. And that then leaves only 200 for a buffer. And just didn't really make sense. So I just continued to trade it today. And fortunately it just like kept going in my favour with the market. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen, obviously the markets are crashing. I've actually started trading gold recently as well, and yeah, that's obviously been very volatile, but been fortunate enough to be on the right side of some of those trades, which is great. So I can now actually take 50% of this, of the 1.58k, so I can take 790.55. It's my first one on Tradeify, so I'm going to go through the process with you guys and go for it. So let's request this payout. Okay, so the payout amount is 790.55, 790.55. Oops. Okay. Alright, I think that's basically it. So what happens from this point is, what I'm seeing online anyway, is that you get an email after some time. So because it is the first one, it shouldn't be like straight away. It's probably going to take a couple of days for this to actually get paid out. So also with that, this is going to be 0.9, so 90% profit split. So get paid out basically 700. With this, I'm actually looking to scale up my funding. So I'm looking at potentially getting another 4 accounts of this. There's currently a 40% discount on Tradeify. So I don't know if you heard that in the background. That's actually my cat just like sitting next to me at the moment. But yeah, there's a 40% discount, which is I think it's the largest I've ever seen for Tradeify. So I can get 4 of these accounts for 444. So even getting these 4 accounts, I'd still be in profit of over $250. So I'm obviously going to have the evals, and I'm going to explain how I'm going to kind of like trade that anyway. But with the, I should actually stay on this one. So with with the evaluation, there's a profit target of 2,500, and there's a consistency of 40%, which means no one trade can be more than, no, sorry, one winning day cannot be more than 40% of this amount, and 40% of 2,500 is 1,000. So you can't actually have more than 1,000 in a winning day to stay within that consistency, and only have to get the 2,500 profit. So a way I'm thinking about doing this is actually splitting that 2,500 into 3, which is like $800, 833, and 833 would then mean that you can get 3 winning days and you pass it. So you can't pass this in 2 days or less. There's a minimum of 3 trading days that are needed. So that's what I'm thinking to do, is risk basically 800 to make 800 1-to-ones. I'm sure for anyone that's kind of been part of the series and just like keeping up with the way that I trade, you would see that I often trade a 1-to-1, and if I risk 800, targeting 800, I can pass this in 3 days. But what I'm also planning to do is split these 4 accounts then into 2 groups. So I'll probably trade one. So I've got 2 funded accounts. I'm going to show one of my other ones. I've explained this in the past. So I did have these 2 giveaway accounts. It shows as breached because these 2 were on Project X. So they breached the accounts, but then they just gave them back on Tradeify. But I haven't traded these because there is an activation fee. I did do like 1 day on this one, I think. Can't remember now, but I'm just gonna leave them just for the time being. I also mentioned that I'm planning to like get more top 1 futures. So I think in the last video I had this account and it was up maybe like 1.5k, and then I also had this one which was in profit a little bit. But as you can see, I've got another one here as well, and I've breached 2 instants in fundeds. So I failed these 2 accounts. They were in profit, but because the drawdown like came up with it, I ended up failing these accounts. So I got this to like 500 in profit and this one to like 200, and then ended up having a really bad turn of events in terms of like my trading, which I can kind of show actually in this. So also for those that have been part of the series, you would have also known that I had Alpha Futures accounts, managed to get my first payout with Alpha Futures. So my payout, I requested on the 11th or the 12th, after these winning days, and as you can see then, yeah, just kind of traded it along. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winning days, so that's what you needed, but my consistency wasn't I suppose like low enough to be able to take a payout. So I couldn't take a payout at this point, so I had to continue trading. Ended up taking a loss. Just I was racking up these winning days as 200 because I knew that you can then take more of the profits once you hit 100%. Sorry, 30 winning days of 200 off the top of my head. And then, so this was December, so it was a profit in December, which is great. I know that most people kind of say that December is pretty tough, so I was pretty happy with that. But then January was just really, really bad for me. I just felt like every single trade I was taking was a loss. I was just losing. So I ended up losing these 3 Alpha Futures accounts. So in a similar sort of like time span, I ended up going into a bit of a losing streak with these accounts as well. End up losing them. But fortunately, I managed to keep this one afloat. I'm actually $300 away from being able to take another payout on this. So as you'll see, I started to have a bit of a losing streak here. I kind of like traded the accounts separately, but it was like I just felt that every single trade I was taking was just like losing. It was crazy at that point. But yeah, I managed to keep this one alive. Had a really good like couple of week. I guess in like February it's been really actually. February's just been great. I don't think I've lost. Had a losing day. So right now we are at 27.6, and I need to get to. I forget where you find it. I think it's 27.9. Where do you find it now? Minimum required profit to qualify. Okay, I think it used to show as like 27 something. So anyway, it would be 27.95. So I'm currently $330 away from being able to take 50% profit from this, and that will then be like roughly 1.5k. That I'll be able to take from this, which is great. So there is potential that I can even do this tomorrow. So it's currently Thursday, the 5th. Friday the 6th, I might even potentially be able to take another 1.5k. So I've just taken 7, we'll just say 700, and then I'll be able to take another 90% of the 2005. Oh, sorry, 1,500 would be 1350. So I wish it was that high. I don't know why I clicked there. 1,350 plus 700, so it's basically 2,000 that I would have been able to take in like a couple of days, which is great. So what I'm planning to do is, as I mentioned, just scale up with the firms that I'm currently with. I did find when I was trying to do like 3 accounts, because I then had this evaluation because they had a 40% discount, so I thought, let me just get this. I've heard great things about Tradeify as well. I was quite interested by the select plan as well, so planning to get these accounts. So I'm just going to kind of maybe just draw this out. So I've got 2 funded, right? So I'm going to do F. These are my 2 funded. So I'm going to trade them separately. They've got the Tradeify one and the top one futures one, and then I'm going to have these 4 evals. Currently, that's probably what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to trade this as a group, and then this as a group. So I'll have probably the Tradeify funded, and then the 2 evaluations on Tradeify, and then the top one futures, and then the 2 evaluations on Tradeify. So I'll trade them separately, and then it just kind of allows you to I suppose like not have all of your risk at once. I think eventually, if like things obviously go well, then I'm gonna invest in the trade copiers. I think Trade Syncer is one that a lot of people use. If anyone does use it, please do let me know. I think there's another one that people were speaking about that is not using like AWS, so like Amazon's servers. I think there's like a cloud-based one. Might be. I can't remember the name. I remember someone speaking about it, and I think that one's supposed to be better, because if there are outages like we have seen recently, then you won't be hit with that. So there we go, guys. Yeah, as you can see, great to have taken a payout. Obviously, I've like lost some accounts as well, so that's something I did want to mention, and I think it's something that's really helped me out, is just not caring as much about these accounts as I used to, because when I first started getting back into the trading, and when I started doing this video series, I just like put these accounts on like a pedestal, and like cared way too much about them, and got really upset, I suppose, if they like went into a bit of a drawdown. And when I was kind of going through this point here, this is like really bad. If you look at it as like January had 3 winning days. That's basically a break-even day in like 3 weeks, which is pretty poor. That was in December actually, so yeah, just like a really bad turn of things. So that's one thing that, like the emotional side of things, I just cared too much about it, instead of just using these prop accounts for what they are, as it's a return on investment vehicle. So with what I've paid for, I paid 111 because I got this at a 40% discount for the Tradeify Select, But I'm going to take out like 700, so it's like a 7x return on that. So yeah, just great return on investment. I'm basically around like a break-even point at this point in terms of how much I've paid for the accounts and like how much I'd be taking out as profits and stuff. If I do take this one for 1.5, then I'll definitely be in profit, which is great. So hopefully that does happen. I've been quite fortunate to like get a couple of like giveaway accounts and stuff, as we saw on Alpha Futures, which I didn't have to pay for. So provided I can get this one, this actually turns me into, I suppose, a profitable trader, and hopefully I can just kind of roll this into like other accounts and continue to grow from there and like scale up. But yeah, hopefully everyone's trading has been going well. I know this was obviously a really long time since I did a video. It's almost 2 months. I mentioned in the last one that it's just away from trading anyway, there's a lot going on in terms of moving places and like changing jobs and stuff, so just haven't really thought about posting, and didn't really want to, honestly, when the trading was as poor as it was. I even like thought about having a major break, which I think I took like a week or two anyway, so that was quite nice to just kind of refresh things. I think it was partially like January was just quite hard to trade. Things going on away from trading just made things tough as well, so it was a combination of a few things, but great learning curve anyway. And even if we look at my trading here as well, like I didn't like allow myself to lose control of my accounts. I know that obviously this is like really poor in terms of the trading, but it wasn't due to emotional decisions by like oversizing or placing too many trades or anything. It all kind of like still follows exactly how I normally trade, which is nice because then it just shows that I can follow the system. If it's working, it'll go great. If this ended up being like a green like reverse, which can obviously happen with trading, then that would be amazing. Like, and being able to like scale that into multiple accounts. Did kind of like refine my strategy from that point as well. So have sort of changed a few things since then, which has been great. February's been great so far as well. So yeah, hopefully I'll catch you guys in a video soon.